welcome to Fourth and Skull Podcast. This is episode 43, and as you can see, that is not Sam.
Not Sam, definitely
but
not.
a better looking version of Sam if he was there.
I'd like to think so.
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah.
This is John across the street.
Hey everyone, I'm John across the street, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah, this has been kind of a joke in the making. Not a joke per se, but why did I say that?
Well, because John across the street has been referenced in several podcasts.
It has, and I could probably link that in.
I like to believe I'm a source of truth, and so it's about time that I'm here.
And the reason why I'm excited to have John across the street on the episode is because John and I think very much alike.
We do.
And if there's anything in life that you're not supposed to do is surround yourself with completely like-minded people so you don't expand any of your thoughts or thinking.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going to do here today.
That's fine with me because you know what? Sometimes you need a dose of reality, and you don't always get that with your co-host.
Yeah, you don't.
As much as we love them. But before we get into anything, I want to say one quick thing, and that is I think that your podcast, The Fourth and Skull, best Vikings podcast out there, hands down. I've tried them all. You guys are the best, so I'm just super thrilled to be here.
I love that. That's awesome. So it's nice to have you here because Sam is full of optimism, which is what we do need. Yeah. It's a give and take, you know.
It's nice. People enjoy feeling pumped up.
It is nice, but let's be real. We're heading into the fourth week here, 0-3, and Sam has still got that fourth week benchmark.
Yeah.
Do you have any takes on that?
You know, I was scratching my head on that last week, and I kept thinking about that scene from Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey when he's like, the girl he asked out, it's like, I'll give you a 1 in a million shot. And he's like, so you're telling me we've got a chance?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it was when Sam's like, fourth week is so important. I looked at the stats on that. In the last 30 years, there's been 182 teams to start the season 0-3. And any guesses as to how many made the playoffs?
Gosh, a few.
Total of 7 for a whopping total of 3.2%. So yeah, we're done.
So how did you feel when Sam was saying that?
I just wanted to know where he got that, you know, the fourth week is the real key, the turning point of where we could turn this ship around. You know, we're talking about a 3% chance already, so it's just not real.
And then I'm assuming those odds are completely diminished if we go 0-4.
Yeah, if we go 0-4, you know, I did look into that. There's been one team that has done it in the last 30 years.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, it's the San Diego Chargers back in like 1992.
Okay, gotcha.
So, you know, it could be Minnesota Miracle Part 2.
It could be.
A less exciting version.
Well, it won't because we've got Kirk Cousins, so.
Yeah, let's be honest. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. So anyways, that's where I'm coming from. And I think I would have still had hope if we had won last week because we actually looked like a somewhat put together football team. Yeah. Somewhat.
If we would have won last week and, you know,
we're sitting at 1-2. Yeah, go 2-2. I mean, then that's a different scenario that we're looking at here. But we're 0-3.
We're 0-3.
That week 4 benchmark is garbage.
People are demoralized. Yeah. And you can see it when you watch the Vikings clips.
Right.
Yeah.
So we are heading into Houston this week against Deshaun Watson and Bill O'Brien, which I don't know if you know much about him, but that guy's just a bag of rocks up there.
Yeah.
He traded DeAndre Hopkins to Arizona for like a 2nd round pick and like a sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, and DeAndre Hopkins is like leading the league in receiving, I'm sure. And
I know.
You know, so I don't know. How do you think this game's going to go? Like, off of what we saw last week, I think Kubiak woke up and he was like, we need to get Jefferson the ball and spread them a little thinner than we had been the past 2 weeks, which you saw that. It opened up the whole offense.
I mean, last week, obviously, best game of the season so far. Offense started clicking a little bit from an offensive yard standpoint. You know, looking at some past Houston games, I will say that I expect a lot of pass rushing from Houston, so I think Kirk's going to be under pressure quite a bit, and that, as we all know, doesn't do well. But they also give up quite a bit in the secondary, so I think we will see quite a bit more Jefferson, and they're going to try to expand his role a bit. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I think the tough thing with quarterbacks that are mobile to this degree is like it's almost like Russell Wilson too. Like we don't know how to contain them.
No,
we don't. And then when the play breaks down with our piss poor secondary, it's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I forgot to look it up, or I had seen a notification or whatever, but we're out a couple more CBs again. Like the second stringers that were supposed to play last week that did, like they're out now.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do?
It's going to be a high scoring game. At this point, I think you got to start pulling out the stops.
Right.
So breaking news this morning was Daniil Hunter is thinking he's done for the season.
Yeah, I saw that.
What was that exactly? Cervical?
So yeah, he had a herniation in one of his cervical vertebrae, which my dad's a physical therapist, so I just like ran it by him, and he's like, not good. Like that's all he said.
Yeah. So
and I know he's getting a second opinion, but like, I feel like that's
why
pretty.
Risk it?
I feel like
Good Daniil. Why?
Right, and we're sitting at 0-3.
Right.
You know, like there's no point in rushing him back at all. I don't see him back maybe until the end of the season. And if we're just out of the running there, then I don't see any reason to bring him back.
Right.
But it sucks though, because without him, like he's our like cowbell, get the team going.
I know.
You know, you've seen pictures of how jacked he is, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Like,
he's a monster.
It's like you have to assume that they're giving these kids something in high school. Right?
I don't think
No?
the human body gets like that naturally.
Like what he looks like now is how he looked when he was like 20, when he was drafted like 21.
Yeah.
Like that's not
No. But I like it.
Yeah.
As long as he stays on our squad. I mean, what an intimidation factor.
Right.
But he's not on the field. And so, you know, I think to your point about Deshaun being super mobile, I think that's going to come back to bite us, because even in Vikings practices, Kirk is not mobile. So our defense just doesn't have a lot of experience.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Going against mobile QBs.
And so while Houston is also 0-3, you got to recognize who they've played. Okay. Week 1 was against the Chiefs. Okay. Pat Mahomes, $500 million man. Right. I think that guy's underpaid.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. That's an investment that was worth the money.
Yeah.
And then they played the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. So he's a beast. And then they played the Steelers, which God bless Big Ben. I still don't know how he does it at his age.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
They're franchised. I mean, they're second almost to the Patriots in that they have a way of just winning.
Yeah, they just do. Like it's like ingrained in the history of the team, and when you show up there, like you don't even need to say it. It's just like known.
Right.
Whereas you come to Minnesota, like you need to bring in a Mike Zimmer and hype up the team, and that comes with losing 4 Super Bowls and Minnesota. And then winter hits, and it's like, how do you get people hyped up for that?
I know, and you're right. I think Houston is definitely not your average 0-3 team. They were winning last week up until under 7 minutes left in the game.
Yep.
So, you know, maybe you could say the same thing about the Vikings too, but regardless, I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. And quite frankly, if I'm being realistic, I don't think the Vikings are going to come out on top.
Yeah, I now at this point, last week I was still full on it. And like I was super excited about the game. Like we thought we were playing well. Like it was exciting. At this point, I do not want us to win a single game, because like I want accountability.
So share more about what do you mean by that?
So like I want someone to finally be held accountable. And here's where I'm afraid is that like we could go. Let's say we're not going to go 0-6. We're not Lions bad, right? I could see us winning max of 4, and I could kind of go through and just pick who, but it doesn't matter. Like there's the Browns. I could see us just sneaking one, the Lions type of thing. But what I'm getting at is I feel like years and years of just kind of mediocre play with the Vikings here in the past within the Zimmer era, right? I mean, we literally needed a Minneapolis miracle.
Right.
We needed a God knows how we beat the Saints in the overtime, right? It's like every team has those games, but then like they can only get you so far. Like you're not gonna Minneapolis miracle your way through to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
No.
So like this year though, I want like someone needs to be looked at and be like, so something's not right here, you know? But then here's where I'm afraid is that I think because we lost so many starters on defense and we had so many injuries, like it'll just kind of get poo-pooed underneath the rug.
Sure.
And we'll be like, let's try it again next year.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be tempted to throw out this year as just being a weird year with COVID.
Oh, and with COVID. Yeah, exactly. And it is. I mean, it is.
Yeah. But at the same time, you know, our performance this year is such a dramatic fall from where we were years past. That's one of the questions I had for you is what do you think like the top 3 contributions are for us falling so far down the list?
I think the biggest is we lost 7 starters on defense. Like we did. We lost Rhodes. Who's, by the way, top cornerback in the league right now. Top cornerback in the league. Griffin is still putting in work. And I think, though, it's funny. I think those those players, just like the Vikings right now and how we're thinking, needed a fresh start.
Yeah.
Like they needed that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like going to a new job or like moving to a new state or whatever it is that you need to kind of revitalize your life, whatever you're doing in your life, right? That's how I feel about the Vikings.
Right.
You know, because like I was saying to Sam the other week, like, do you remember when Zimmer first got here? dude, there was a buzz in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know, all you saw
Fire was lit.
Yeah, all you saw was videos of Zimmer like chewing out his defensive players, you know, like an angry, not like a Bad Childress or like a Leslie Frazier where it's like we could just hug it out in the shower together and we'll get through it. You know what I mean? So like that is gone. And like that's we're a team that needs that. And I think it comes back to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Which I'm surprised that Kirk is with this franchise with Zim the way he is, but it's almost like Zim saves all of his anger for his defense.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I think that probably works well with some people, but based on your personality type, if you have a coach just bearing down on you like that, it's just not going to mix well. And it obviously didn't mix well for Rhodes. And, you know, probably even Diggs too.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's also thriving out of here.
Yeah, and how about the kickers?
Danny boy.
I mean, other than this year, I feel like he's like the pressure's off of him because we're 0-3. But like, think about all the years prior, like he'd miss big kicks. It's like, you know, Zimmer is like just gonna lose it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, probably knifed his car in the parking lot after.
Probably.
But then didn't he just drill like a 65-yarder last week or something like that to win the game?
For the Vikes?
No, Daniel Carlson.
You're talking about Danny Boy.
Well,
I'm so sorry. I thought you were.
There's a few Danny.
I thought you were saying Dan Bailey for a second. My bad.
Him too, I guess.
Yeah, well, like last year he had a missed couple minutes, but this year like the pressure's off. But Danny, Carlson is just having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He missed 3 kicks against Green Bay like 2 years ago.
3 and an extra point.
Yeah.
We should have won that game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like. If there's anything a kicker can't have is that kind of pressure on top of like trying to kick a game-winning field goal or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but so I got another question for you then.
Sure.
Okay, so you brought this up. Like, so along with the starters, point number 2 might actually be who the hell is Zimmer dating? What is
You know what?
Has
you
anyone
are onto
seen
something
this?
with this. Yeah, I saw that in the media the other day. His girlfriend is what, mid-30s and he's mid-60s?
He's 64.
Yeah, he's 64. And
She maybe just cracked 30. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But like,
I saw that and the first thought in my mind is this guy's not thinking about football as much as he used to. I mean,
yeah, well, I'll link a picture because like, just so you understand what it is that we're referring to, like, honestly, how can he focus on football?
He's not, and I think it goes to show too. Like he seems just a little bit less fiery in those press conferences or on the sideline. A little bit like, well, at least I have my gorgeous girlfriend to go home to after this devastating loss. You know, he just doesn't. I think it's taken him out of the game a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it's funny. Green Bay Packer fans say the same thing with Rodgers when he's dating somebody.
Sure.
Because I think he broke up with Danica Patrick right before the start of this season.
Yeah.
Guy's playing he's having fun.
Yeah.
He's on his own. He's single again. Like,
yeah.
It's like the same thing. Yeah. And it's like, not that we don't want Zimmer to have that in his life because good for him.
Yeah.
The multi-millions help.
Yeah.
Achieve that.
For sure. It is just an odd pairing though.
Yeah.
Whenever you see that.
That to me is really freaking weird. Like, honestly, like that gives me, I hate to say it. That gives me like creepy, weird vibes.
Yeah. I mean, whenever there's a age gap that's multiple decades.
Yeah.
But, you know, who am I to judge? Because,
no, for sure.
You know, there's the love is love camp and maybe it is working just fine. Okay, wait, pause. I promised to be real on this podcast.
Yeah, be real.
It's not a love is love. We all know what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I think 100% it has to be a factor.
Oh, yeah. He's distracted. And, you know, it's starting. Zim is my favorite coach of my lifetime.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
It might be his time if things can't turn around.
And, you know, I can't remember if he got just a 1-year extension or if he also was pulled in with that 3-year with Cousins and like Spielman got a little extension. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
can't remember.
I think it was a couple years. One of the things I was wondering is if coaching is like running backs where, you know, they say once a running back gets an extension, then they start playing soft and like they're not as hungry for it.
That's true.
What if the same is true with coaching? Because, you know, Zimmer's 64 and so he got a 2-year extension. He's got to be thinking, okay, I'll just sail off into the sunset after this. Doesn't have to prove anything to go get another head coach job somewhere else. What if he's just coasting,
Yeah.
so to speak.
And it's I feel like with his personality, it's tough to believe that would be true.
It is.
But like money changes people and like scenarios change people. Like you said, with like running backs, for example, like they still want to win a Super Bowl, but it's like, oh, I got the bag is what they say, you know? Yeah, for sure.
One of the things, so again, still love Zimmer, but I think his biggest downfall is the decisions he's making, and maybe it's Rick Spielman too, who knows, but when it comes to bringing on these assistant coaches, he has a tendency to just love the old school people that did something great 15, 20 years ago, like Kubiak,
Norv
Turner, or Dom Capers, right?
It just slipped in right in between COVID, like they're like, we're going to slip this one through.
Yeah.
Like no one knew that was a thing until like end of the season you saw his name.
Yeah, and everyone took a deep sigh when they saw that because everyone knows the problem with these coaches is, you know, they've done something great for the game and they've proven that they were brilliant at one point in time.
In that era, though.
In that era.
Yes,
but
exactly.
the game transitions. We talk about that all the time from, you know, transitioning from a running game to a passing game. I think the same is true with coaching. You can't call the same types of play calls that you called 10 years ago and expect to be successful.
Yeah. I need to get a new light, dude. That thing does that every single time.
Yeah.
One of them does. I don't know which one it is. I think it's always that one. I just got to buy a new one.
I'm used to living in the shadows, so it's all right.
You still look good, though. You still look really
I'm
good.
John across the street, after all. I got to be mysterious.
Yeah, so, just going back on that point you made, and I feel like I've touched on that, too, a handful of times, is like, we just need something new. We just do.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we're eating stale bread.
So, I have some ideas about that.
Yeah, what do you got?
So, you know, everyone wants to see something exciting when they tune in to watch football. And typically that's their team winning. I think that's setting the bar too high for us at this point, winning in a traditional way. And so what I'd like to see is some really great experimentation when it comes to things like the playbook, or even starting some people that are normally second, third string just to give them some reps.
Oh, yeah.
Because at this point, we're basically back to preseason mode.
Right.
You know, we have no chance of making the playoffs. So, you know, the argument against that typically is, oh, you've got all these fans that are paying hundreds of dollars to come watch the game, and so we can't just, you know, like joke around. We got to put on a good show for them. That's not the case in COVID. So go for it on fourth downs. You know, try to drill that 68-yard field goal or whatever. Just like, you know, do more Wildcats. Just start playing around.
Like, have fun.
Yeah.
Like backyard football at this point.
You literally have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And, you know, I even read like a statistician article analyzing football once, and they said if every team just committed to going for it on fourth down, they would win on average 2 more games a season. So, I mean, why don't we just start doing that? We got nothing to lose.
John, I would love for you to coach this football team. I want to see you go for it on every fourth down. I'm assuming that's like within a certain, really, you're not going for it on fourth down in your own 30. Or is that going for every fourth down, literally?
I mean, I think you're right. I think there's a
situational
a situation where it's foolish, but I think the 30-yard line is a good benchmark, and you just go for it.
Yeah.
Everything else. I'll tell you one thing I'd do if I was a coach: have a lot more Wildcat. Get Kirk off the field.
Get him off on the wide receiver, far away from the play.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Go play checkers with Zim's girlfriend in the locker room while he's waiting.
Checkers too. It's like a really basic game.
That's about all he can handle.
That's all he can do.
Oh, that's I'm sorry.
No.
Kirk,
it's fine, because you know what's funny? You know what's funny about Kirk Cousins is that he's got his own podcast to run. What else?
True.
What else is a league starting quarterback going to do who's making millions do with his free time after a game?
Yeah.
Other than go sit down on a podcast.
Right. I mean,
what is this guy? 20 years old?
Just about.
Like, dude, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
I know you can have fun, but like, you can't. I guess I've never listened to his podcast, but if he's seriously doing podcasts after an 0-4 start to the year, you know, and there was something, I don't have it pulled up, of course, but like, this is Mike Zimmer after last game. He was asked by a reporter something along the lines of like who was to blame for the chaos, like, you know, what happened with the final minute and 42 seconds or whatever, and he was like, I don't know, ask the quarterback. He said something like that. Yeah. And then they asked Kirk Cousins, and he was like, I don't know, you're gonna have to readdress that with like Zimmer and like with the head coach and see what he really meant.
Zim had this, or Cousins had this excuse like, well, when you're putting up 500 yards and all this stuff, then you've got to be doing something right.
Yeah.
And it's not so frustrating about that. One, blame shifting, obviously.
Yes.
But secondly, it's not taking responsibility for controlling the game clock at the end of the game and just being careless. I mean, I don't even know who was responsible for that missed snap last week, but that was handled so poorly.
Right. And so I think you and I both recognize that it's not all on Kirk Cousins.
No.
Like, he's not on the line.
No, of course
he's not calling the play. He's not doing all the things. But when you're getting paid what you're getting paid and you're a starting quarterback in the NFL, like, you need to just literally take accountability for it.
Right.
Like, there's no, like, why does that sound so easy for me to just, that's how it is.
Right.
Why am I having a hard time understanding why he doesn't understand that? What is that?
I don't know. And quite frankly, as much as I pick on Kirk, it does seem out of character for him, because normally, he'll go out there and be like, I got to play better. I take responsibility. This time was different.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he's just, I can't figure him out.
Yeah.
I really can't. And I wish I could be in the locker room for a majority of the time just to see how he's like.
I think he probably has massive emotional shifts from day to day. And the reason why I think that is because we have that. You like that clip.
Yeah.
How out of character is that?
That is beyond out of character.
Kirk Cousins. So I feel like he's a pretty emotional dude on the inside. He tries to hold it together, but then, so you never know kind of what kind of Kirk is going to come out at any given moment.
Yeah, and I kind of, going back to your running back comment about when they get their contract, like, I almost see it the same way with Kirk Cousins. Like, he's got no incentive to play better to earn another $250,000. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, it's all guaranteed.
Right.
And I might be wrong on this new extension. Like, they might be tweaked a little bit, but, like, the prior one was all guaranteed. Like, like, what's the incentive to do any better than you literally achieved your financial goal?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, money is the main driver for focus for everybody, Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, this team just annoys me. I'm just annoyed.
Yeah. It's brutal. But, as diehard fans, obviously we're going to continue to put ourselves through the punishment.
Yeah, of course.
Week to week.
Yeah.
One of the things I wonder with Kirk, though, is if he would be motivated and start performing better if we started, acting on our frustration, meaning, like, what if we put in a backup QB for a series? Just
that's interesting.
Again, nothing to lose. So, like, it's like, okay, Kirk, you went 3 and out and you had 5 seconds to throw the ball and you got sacked. We're going to play our backup QB next series.
So let me riddle you this. Okay. Is Kirk Cousins so fragile that would, like, his mood would go completely sour and that would be it?
Something would happen inside of him, and it could.
But would it be good?
We don't know until we try.
I don't think it would be.
Yeah, I could see him, like,
he would hang on to that, pout on that internally.
But at the same time, I think there's plenty of quarterbacks out there that would take that as fire.
Thrive that. I don't think Cousins is that guy. I'm telling you, he's a really good. I mean, to make it to the NFL in itself is a feat. Right?
Oh yeah,
like, that's amazing. Like, the odds of going to the NFL are so small, let alone being a starting quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not taking any of his talent away, but he just lacks something that makes you great.
Right.
Like, good, even good, like, good, not just good, but, like, I mean, fuck, man. Like, Aaron Rodgers, I saw, like, a report. He literally pretends like he can't hear. Like, he'll go, like, there's video of it and, like, article of him. Like, he's like, I can't hear. And he's lying.
Right.
For the sole purpose of calling his own play because he's got a freaking pair of balls.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is the best at deception.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to his own team. And and that's why, I've never quite understood how he seems to be, like, the only QB in the NFL that can get that free play.
What
drawing
is
him off
that?
and then has Kirk ever done that?
No.
Never.
I bet you he has never had a hard enough hard count other than to make his own offensive line jump.
Right.
Like, I mean, for God's sakes, remember the game where Kirk Cousins, his voice cracked? Like, do you know what game I'm talking about?
Oh, I think it happens multiple times.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. He's just a joke to me.
Yeah. And I feel bad because from what I understand about him, he's a super nice guy.
Of course. Yeah.
He's, like, the nicest of guys.
Yeah, and I follow him on social media, and he posts videos of his kids, and, like, he's like a family guy. Like, love all that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all about that.
Right.
But I'm talking football here.
Yeah.
There's one thing once a year on Sundays for, like, little over 2/3 of the year that I'm just pumped for.
Right.
And he takes that away from me.
Yeah, I know. And you're right about everything about him being a good quarterback. He's got all the stats to show for it. I mean, he throws dimes sometimes, which is just fantastic.
Yeah.
But there's an it factor, and it's always hard to put into words, but it's a fire in the belly to, when the time really matters, like, are you going to do something amazing?
Right.
And I don't think Kirk has that.
So now I want to talk about COVID.
Yeah.
And coronavirus.
Sure.
Okay. We finally, which shocks me that it's taken this long to actually start to sprinkle in the NFL. So like week 3, Tennessee versus the Vikings. Titans had like, I think 3 players and like 2 personnel, coaching staff, whatever, get COVID or test positive. And I think a few more have now extended that. And originally the NFL was like, we don't give a fuck. We're playing on Sunday. You're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then they backed it up to Monday night. And then they rescheduled for a later date.
Which is,
right.
I think, the smart and
I mean, yeah, like the PR behind that would look terrible if the whole Pittsburgh Steelers team tested positive. And now, though, what brings me to, I opened up ESPN here and Cam Newton's got COVID. He's positive.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I expected the year to happen. This is how I expected it to happen.
Right.
I think we all did.
Right.
Whether they're going to be severely, hospitalized, I don't know. I doubt it. I really hope not, and I doubt it. But like, they're athletes. But like, this is what I was going to also say at the start of the year. My heart wasn't in it because I thought that this is how the season was going, and I feared, we'd be sitting here at like 3-0, 4-0, like lights out. Kirk Cousins has me in the grip of his hands. Like he's playing amazing. Like I'm like, this is what I wanted. And then the season's slowly getting shut down, or we somehow make it to the Super Bowl and we win it, and like we can't even have a freaking parade. No. Like the one thing Minnesota needs.
I thought about that too.
I was like, of all years for the Vikings to win it, it would be the shittiest year to win it.
Right.
Yeah, it would be like the worst year ever to win it.
Right.
We can't even celebrate it properly. Like.
And for all those lifelong fans that have set aside money to go to a Super Bowl when the team goes,
like it's like half attendance, like so like in that retrospect too, I'm like I'm okay with it with how we're playing, and like we need to draft a new quarterback. We need some fresh young legs, like
Well, I heard you say so. You'd prefer not to win anymore for the sake of the draft. Is that correct?
100%.
So I think. I don't think that will happen. I do think we will win a few games,
for sure.
And that's just kind of how it goes. I agree with you that it'd be awesome to have an amazing draft. I get concerned with Slick Rick, though, that he'd somehow squander the opportunity, draft really short cornerbacks again.
I think that's more Zimmer.
Probably Zim, whispering in his ear.
Yeah, but still, regardless, like they're part of the team. Like I don't, but what is it with the small? Cornerbacks.
Zim's whispering the sweet nothings. Give me the shortest of all
the shortest and fastest. Like that's all he's thinking about draft night. Like
I wonder if it's like back to his Dallas Cowboys era with Deion Sanders.
Sure,
and all that. I don't know.
Well, and it's funny you say that because that's how the league was. It was like smaller. Like. I mean, I don't know if the antibiotics in this chicken that we're fucking eating here is making all these people bigger, but like, it's a different era all around. Like,
it's interesting that that's still kind of a philosophy, even for the Viking squad, given how well Rhodes did for so long.
Yeah,
and he's the opposite of a small guy,
right? So
one of the questions I had for you is, okay, if asking for a win is too much at this point, which with this squad, it's probably asking too much. What does success look like when it comes to performance?
So I'm looking at this for the team's perspective, like the players on the field, not Pat's desire to go in 16. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I think success would be just a solid put together game with like Kirk Cousins not throwing another damn interception to start the freaking second half, which I should have been a pick 6, but Jadeveon Clowney went all stupid.
Right.
Like it's just bonehead plays like that. Like just like a well put together game. And like, it's tough for me to even say because we're literally at 0-3. Like I can't even look at it from like the players who have the contracts to last the next few years don't care. They do, but they don't.
Right.
It's like the players that are fighting for their roster spot who might not be playing in the league next year, who are like, we got to freaking get a win together, Right. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what success looks like. I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do.
I think despite the defensive challenges, we have some of the right talent in order to limit the score, right? We've allowed so many points this season. I would love to see some much better red zone stances. According to some of the Vikings interviews lately, there's a belief that we're right on the cusp of winning starting a winning streak. And,
Right.
And granted, maybe they've seen a lot of growth in some of these young players, and so they are expecting greater things, but I would love to see a score held underneath 20 points. I'd like to see Dalvin always getting 120 yards a game or more.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And quite frankly, I want to see the playbook opened and start forcing like deeper balls out of Kirk, which is out of his comfort zone. But again, let's play out of the comfort zone because we got nothing to lose.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny you say that because like the only way Kirk goes deep is if it's on a play action.
Right.
Like that is as comfortable as he'll ever be. Is fake handoff. It's like everything's slow motion. Like he's rolling out right, and then he just hucks it, But it's like, can he ever like just get out of the pocket and have the play breakdown, have the running cornerback or wide receiver just break off and just hit him, for a 30-yard gain? Like you don't see that out of the Vikings. Like he's always running with it if he's going to be out of the pocket. Like he's just scrambling for a first down. Like he's not looking upfield anymore. Like he's gone into full blown coward, tail under his butt, don't get hurt mode.
Right.
Whereas other quarterbacks are like, I still have a few seconds to see if I can hit someone. And like, I could run for like 4 yards and get that, or I could just get an incomplete pass, but it could be like a 30-yard catch.
Speaking of, did you see Sam Darnold's 47-yard
Oh my God, I saw that last night out of nowhere. Dude, what the heck was that?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I couldn't even imagine what that would be like if Kirk were to even do anything like that.
No.
I think you'd have a better chance at winning the Powerball than seeing Kirk run.
A 40-yard run like that?
40-yard run.
Dude, and like Sam Darnold like literally broke the first guy's ankle. I think it was a linebacker, or maybe a safety or something.
Out of his pants.
Yeah, and like I don't know if there's this fear that some defenders have about hitting the quarterback, because there is.
Yeah. But once you cross that line of scrimmage,
it should be full go. Right. Unless he's sliding down with his feet, like you can't go head first at him. But like, dude, he like juked him out of his socks, and then like he like snuck in between two guys, and they like hit each other, and he scored a 40-yard touchdown.
I know, good for him.
Yeah, that was super cool.
But that's the kind of thing that we all want to see. Just something fresh and different, and just go all out because you have nothing to lose.
Right. Yeah.
Back to your comment about going 0-16 and having a really awesome draft class. I mean, this town would be lit up if we somehow drafted Trevor Lawrence or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. And a buzz. We need a buzz in Minnesota.
But I agree with you, but hear me out. I think having like a number 1 draft pick, it means that we had such a bad season that there's going to be other consequences from that. And here's what I'm thinking. So the all-stars on our team don't want to be part of a squad that is just terrible, especially the ones that are getting towards the end of their career.
Right.
They're like, okay, I want to make a serious run. Get me out of here. I'm thinking about people like Harrison Smith. I'm thinking, even some of our younger guys that have a few years under their belt, like Barr and Kendricks. It's like you start losing some pretty significant momentum once you have a losing season.
Right.
And on winning squads, you see players willing to take pay cuts in order to build up and make that Super Bowl run. We're not going to have that if our squad does so poorly. We're going to see a mass exodus of talent.
And we've got all this money tied up in like 5 players.
Right.
How are you even going to be able to keep some of these guys? You're not going to.
Right.
You're going to have to lose some players.
Yeah.
Because it's like Cousins, Thielen's got a big contract. Cook just got a big one. I think Hunter's up there for DNs. It's like that's a lot of money invested into like a few players, and our offensive line is just lagging.
I know, but is it really lagging though? Like I think that's a well accepted belief, but what really threw me was when you posted the stat about how much time Kirk had in the pocket. It was like 3.4 seconds.
Right.
So I know our offensive line looks bad, and it probably is bad, but that's
a good point.
The third or fourth most time that any QB has.
I think he led the league with how long he was holding the ball. I don't know if it's necessarily the time in the pocket he has, it's how long he's holding the ball.
Sure.
So there could be an instance where he's moving, or I don't even know, but he's holding the ball for a substantial amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like regardless of the fact.
So let's say, for example, he was in the top 20 percentile of quarterbacks getting rid of the ball faster.
Right.
Then your offensive line isn't going to look as bad because they're not having to do as much.
Right. And I make the case too, like all I want is a quarterback who can extend the play. Think about what that does if you can extend the play just a little bit. Like so much can go wrong. The cornerbacks can only do so much guarding wide receivers on a broken play. It's like all these quarterbacks that get out of the pocket give you it's like another life. You have another chance.
Right.
All of them.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Like I think about how I would love to know the odds that your team has a percentage of like winning or even just getting a score on the drive, whether it's 3 points or not. Like just getting out of the pocket and like extending the play.
Yeah.
Like why did I don't get it. Kirk Cousins.
And see, that's the future of QBs in this league. I mean, all the QBs that everyone loves are doing that. You and I both have a man crush on Russell Wilson for that reason.
Dude.
I mean, he's probably the master at that.
I can watch him all day.
Yeah.
All day.
That's exactly the type of QB we need. And if our administration staff can't figure that out, then we're going to be in for a long.
And I know it's really risky to take a mobile QB because your perception is that they can't throw. Like that's your first thought. But that's not the case with a lot of these guys. Like Lamar Jackson, like he can throw and he gets out of the pocket. Mahomes can do it.
Right.
What's his name in Arizona? I keep forgetting his name. Murray can do it.
Yep.
But like Wilson, for example, I was watching the Sunday night game and like there was a couple 3rd and 4s. Mm-hmm. He just casually picked it up.
Oh yeah.
He literally casually picked up 4 yards and guess what? A whole new set of 3 plays.
Exactly.
And then repeat, and you rinse that over and over again through 4 quarters, and your odds of scoring 30 plus points a game are so high.
Right.
They just are.
Because it takes you from 2 dimensions, passing and rushing, to 3 dimensions when your QB can also get a few yards on their own.
Exactly.
And for a defense, I have to imagine that's infinitely harder to defend against than a 2-dimensional
and it
team.
spreads them thin because now you have to literally designate a linebacker to QB spy basically. So you lose a guy in that aspect, and if you get out of the pocket, then the middle of the field is open. You got just a nice little crossing pattern. It's 5 yards. It's just like a game of Madden.
Yeah.
Just let me coach,
Yeah. Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Yeah.
I mean, we did have T-Jack, God rest his soul.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sad. I know.
Did he die?
Yeah, he died.
Car accident.
Yeah, car accident.
Yeah. But wasn't that that was before he pulled a gun out on his wife?
Ooh, I didn't hear about that.
I gotta fact check that. I'm not gonna be like the rest of the media with these kind of things who are saying things.
I don't know
swear
about
he
any
pulled
of that.
out.
All I know, the only point I was trying to make is he was our most mobile QB.
Yeah.
And even though he wasn't, a Vikings legend by any means, it still made the games fun to watch, just having him on the field.
Right.
And I would rather take the risk of, potentially, not having deep playoff runs, but having a QB that's capable of getting us to the big game. And the only way we can do that is with someone that has that mobile capability.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring up past history for someone who's now resting in peace. But yeah, he allegedly pulling a gun on his wife. He was arrested for that. So
that's sad. Well,
on that note,
let's.
We always end on those notes.
Maybe one last positive thing before we go.
let's channel our inner Sam. Sam is with us. Sam is here with us. Yeah,
Sam is here.
Which, by the way, I want to do an episode where Sam is here with us. I would love that dynamic.
It'd be fun.
But I want to make sure that we are awful and we just lost like a horrible game that we should have won. And I want to see you two fight it out like I do with him.
Yeah.
No, but on a positive note, do you have one off the top of your head?
I just got a shout out to Kyle Rudolph, who such an unbelievable grab last week. I know you guys talked about that, but one of the things that I think is so special about this sport is when you can have awesome players on the field capable of many things, but then they're just fantastic human beings off the field. And Kyle does so much in the community, especially with childhood cancer and supporting them. I can tell you it makes such a big difference in their lives. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. So thrilled that he's still on the squad. Hopefully he can be, with us for the duration of his career. Yeah,
I love that. That's a good note. I probably don't have anything as heart touching, but I do just want to see Justin Jefferson continue to get the ball.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah, that is probably the brightest spot right now in our offense. It was so fun to see him get the ball.
That was amazing. That was so much fun. Like every time even the 5-yard slant routes he caught, I was like pumped. I'm like, finally get this kid the ball.
I can guarantee we will see more of that.
Yeah,
now.
we have to. And Kubiak woke up and he finally probably hung over the night before looking in that mirror of his and he realized what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, I appreciate you coming on.
It was a blast. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, that's so much fun. It's nice to not have to look at Sam every episode, but no, I'm just kidding, Sam. All right, join us next week. Hopefully the Vikings are 0-4. Hopefully a complete and utter destruction of this team. Mm-hmm. And people are crying. People are getting fired. I want mayhem in Minnesota.
and I want the whole season to just fall apart.
Good luck with that. We'll see what happens. I'll say Skull Vikes and leave it at that.
All right, see you guys. You know I'm kidding.
See ya. Bye.